Morning guys, I am live. I had a bit of a time change this morning, so yeah, sorry about that. I had to change the time, and also I want to apologise because I think yesterday I plugged yoga for weight loss, but actually I'm doing hormones for weight loss. Today. I checked the schedule afterwards and I got it totally wrong. So yeah, today is all about hormones and fat burning, right? So I want to take you through this. It's not quite 10:30 yet, so I'm going to give it a minute, and yeah, I will start at 10:30 as advertised. So yes, as I said, today I'm talking about hormones and fat burning, and not yoga and weight loss, because that's what I said yesterday. I got it all wrong. That's next week. So yeah, but we'll get started now. Literally what I want to do today is tell you why. And I always say why, because instead of telling you what, this is what to eat, this is what to do, I like to say why, so that you understand why we're doing it and what is going on in your body. This is one of the pillars of my teaching, is to empower you with knowledge about your body and about weight loss and about dieting, so that you can make informed decisions going forwards with your life about what's right for you. And it's not about following diet rules and feeling restricted and deprived and all of that. This is a different approach, and it's an approach that really, really works for me and for my clients. And so yeah, this is why I want to delve into hormones today and really show you that hormones are so important for weight loss, if that's your goal, and just generally for optimal body health, overall health, if that's more of interest to you. I really do focus on weight loss for this because obviously a lot of people in this group want that, and but yeah, it's really important for every woman at any age, but particularly I tend to sort of talk to those that are perimenopausal and menopausal, because it's all going to happen. It's going to happen to us all one day anyway. But it's just that these are the women that seem to be the most stuck that I speak to, because their bodies are changing and they're at that stage of life where their hormones are changing, and the diets and plans that they used to do, or whatever they used to do to lose weight, doesn't work anymore. And that is because of your hormones. And that doesn't mean that just because you're perimenopausal or menopausal that you can't lose weight. That is not true. That is something that has been bandied around so much because we've never tried a different approach. So we just kind of get to that age and accept that we are going to put on weight, right? But that's wrong. I'm telling you that 100% that's wrong. And the reason it's wrong is because what's happened in the past is that we've just continued trying to lose weight in the same way that we've always done, by cutting calories and exercising more, and restriction, and then which leads to kind of overeating because we're hungry and feeling crappy and restricted and deprived, and then we end up eating the whole contents of the cupboard. And then that's what starts that yo-yo cycle, and it's very difficult to get out of that if you don't know what's going on. And hormones are so important for this area, okay? Because I explained a lot yesterday, actually, in my talk yesterday about sugar, right? So please go back and watch that, because I'm not going to go deep into that, but literally, on a physical level, hormones obviously are a body function, and actually they're the most important body function because they are in control of everything that our body does. So the hormones are like the messengers that tell your organs and your bodily functions what to do. And that's why they're in charge of fat burning. Yeah? There's one hormone called insulin, which is the fat burning hormone, that will decide whether you store or burn fat or not. Other hormones I'm going to mention in a bit are also have a knock-on effect on that as well. So there's a lot of hormones that affect our weight, and if they're not balanced correctly, then we put on weight. And as our bodies are changing, as we get older, we need to do things differently. So I'm going to give you today, first of all, I'm going to tell you the why, what's going on in your body, and then I'm going to tell you about each of those hormones and what they are. So I just nearly knocked everything over here. And then I'm going to give you some tips that you can implement today, right? That easy things that you can just tweak in your lifestyle that are going to help you balance your hormones so that you can burn fat effectively. So, okay, so let's make a start. I've got some notes here, which my eyes are flitting around a bit. I'm just going through my notes, but literally, so I've really kind of said why we need to balance hormones. But this is just another reason why just going on a diet, especially if you're 40 plus, isn't going to work for you long term. Yeah, it's not going to work for you really at all, because you're just literally limiting calories but trying to burn them off on a diet, aren't you? And this is a whole mindset shift, and I do really go through this with my clients when they start my program, because shifting your mindset from counting calories all the time to eating to support your hormones, which is what I advocate, is a big mindset shift. It was for me when I learned all of this about 10 years ago. And I don't count calories, I said this before, and I'm not interested in calories. What I'm interested in is what I'm going to teach you today, because that puts your body into fat burning mode. Keep your hormones happy, your body will burn fat whatever age you are, okay? Unless there's something, medically wrong. And in most cases, for most of my clients, it's not at all. It's just that they don't have this knowledge and they don't understand what's going on in their bodies. So, as I said, hormones are actually the signals that tell your body what to do, including burn fat. Yeah? Your hormones are important for regulating many different processes in the body, including appetite, metabolism, sleep cycles, reproductive cycles, sexual function, body temperature, and moods, right? To function optimally as a human being, we need all of these to be working well, to sleep well, to be able to lose weight. Hormones need to be functioning optimally to them, so the better they're working, the better you can do all this stuff, right? So the slightest imbalance will have a noticeable effect on your overall health and your well-being and your weight, right? So if you feel stuck in your weight, if you feel like you've been trying everything and nothing's working, then it's highly possible that this is a hormone imbalance, right? So I'm here today to educate you about that and to show you the areas that you could be changing. Very easy, very simple, doesn't take up lots of time, it's just tweaks to what you do already. Okay, so, so let's just talk a bit about the female hormones then, the female hormones in our body. So we have lots of different hormones, and you'll recognise some of the names. Estrogen, yeah? This helps us develop and maintain the reproductive system, okay? So high levels of estrogen can cause, symptoms like heavy periods, for example, and weight gain is also a symptom. Fatigue and fibroids also. So too much estrogen creates fat storage, okay? Testosterone. We often think about men when we think about testosterone, but we also have testosterone, and it affects our bones and muscle mass. So the way that we store fat in the body, right? Who knew that? Who knew that testosterone was responsible for that? So there's a lot of other things it's responsible for, but we're talking about weight loss today. So, it's basically, testosterone is important for maintaining lean muscle mass. It's important to know this stuff. If you think about men and how lean they are, because obviously they have more testosterone in their bodies. Testosterone is not necessarily a bad thing to have. It doesn't mean that you're going to sprout hairs necessarily. It's about lean muscle mass. So progesterone is the next one. We all know about progesterone. It's released by our ovaries, and changing progesterone levels can contribute to abnormal periods and menopausal symptoms. So too much can result in lots of things like breast tenderness and bloating. So agitation and fatigue and depression, low sex drive and weight gain. You know, if you're at that stage, you probably know about this stuff, but it doesn't mean just because you've got excess progesterone that you can't lose weight. Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's about doing things differently. Melatonin is another important hormone, and this is produced by the pineal gland, right? And it's located in your brain. Excuse me. So this hormone is released in response to darkness. Yeah, so it helps control your sleep cycles. So and it will and the level of melatonin will impact your sleep quality. Now you'll learn in a minute how important sleep quality is for weight loss as well. So it's really important, this one, and it also affects estrogen production. So less sleep, right? It's just to know that all of these kind of, when things aren't functioning properly in your body, including sleep, if you're not getting enough sleep, this is perceived as a stress by your body, right? So and when the body's under stress, it produces cortisol. Yeah, so that's another one, and that's the one I want to come on. That's a stress hormone. We all call it that. We've probably heard of cortisol. It's a really well-known hormone because everybody's stressed, right? And but yeah, cortisol just is also regulating blood sugar regulation and inflammation, and metabolism regulation and memory formulation. So it's got lots of different roles, but it's not just about stress. But stress really, obviously, when we're stressed, we release cortisol, and when we have chronic stress, it can really affect our weight massively. Because when that cortisol is, flooding around our body, the body sees it as an emergency. And it's like, and when there's an emergency, think back to when we were cavemen, it's like, oh, emergency, we don't know what's going on. Hormones will send a message to the body to hold on to fat. Yeah? So all of this is because I think there might be, a food shortage or something, and we're going to die. So it's like, hold on to fat, we need everything we've got here, there's an emergency. But most of the time, if you think about it, we get really stressed about little things, don't we? And our body does not know the difference between stress, which is a real threat, or whether it's a kind of, dummy threat, like an email that you've just received that has stressed you out. Yeah, that obviously isn't a threat to your life, but you can feel very stressed about an email or something really little. Yes, but it's still going to do the same thing. It's going to have the same hormonal response. It's going to release cortisol, which is going to cause your body to hold on fat. So stress management is huge. So, next. Okay, that's all the hormones that I want to mention at the moment. Actually, I'm going to mention two more. There's also ghrelin and leptin, right? So ghrelin and leptin are the hunger hormones, just for simplicity. Ghrelin tells your body when you're hungry, and leptin tells your body when it's full. And I was mentioning this, was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember now, but in one of my other lives, I was talking about this a little bit, but we do really override our hunger cues, don't we? Especially when we snack a lot, we don't really know when we're physically hungry. Oh yes, it was in day one because I was going through my 4-step eating plan. And so physically hungry, so yes, Monday was the 4-step eating plan. So it's give your body what it needs, and this is what I'm talking about, hormones. Give your body what it needs, what the hormones need to perform optimally so that you burn fat. Take away what it doesn't need, because any processed foods with flour and sugar, or anything with flour and sugar in them, will cause that blood sugar spike. It's a stress on the body holds on to fat. So give your body what it needs, take away what it doesn't need, listen to your body. Remember, that was the third one. It's about connecting, listening to your hunger signals. And ghrelin and leptin, this is what they do, right? So it's getting in touch with that feeling. Now, I know when leptin is telling me my body's full. I can feel it in my body because I have got myself in tune with my body now. So I know it actually feels like a bit like this, right? You know that full feeling. I can't describe it with words, there's no words for it. It's just a feeling that I get down here in my gut when I'm full. And I pay attention when I'm eating. I eat mindfully. And when I've got to the point where I might check in with myself and think, am I full? Or do I want some more? And I'm not human, I don't get it right every time, but I 100% recognise that leptin telling me it feels like, that's what I visualise it as all these little hormones coming along, telling my body to stop eating, right? And it feels like that, a bit like that. That's all I can describe it as. So if you're not in tune with your body, and I don't know, I wasn't either, because I used to eat mindlessly, not mindfully, all the time. I would literally be kind of just chucking anything in when I felt, stressed, whatever it was. So it's all related, right? Because that's the emotional eating side, but then eating when you're stressed, and then your cortisol's going around, and then you're eating sugar to counter that, and then so that's spiking your blood sugar levels, and the insulin's being released, and it's all going mental, it's all going off in the body, and no wonder you're imbalanced, right? This is what happens, and this is why you can't lose weight, okay? It's not about the calories, it's not about, the calories is a tiny bit of it. Yeah, calories is important, but it's only a tiny bit. You're learning this stuff about how your body works is much, much more important. So you're probably already doing the calorie thing and the exercise thing maybe as well. And you're probably just counting them in your head all the time. But again, that can cause stress. Counting calories causes stress, right? Because you're like, oh my God, I've overeaten, I've eaten too much, and what I'm going to do. And if you're stressed out about that, that is kind of creating that hormonal response again. So, and it's not helping you because it's making you hold on to fat. So this is why we need to manage stress. Stress is a huge one. So ghrelin, leptin, we need to get back in touch with them, connecting to ourselves. Sorry, I think let's go to the fourth one, and that is making space to enjoy the foods that you want, but strategically repositioning them. So remember I said about the joy eat. Yeah, that's number 4. Okay, so it's also intertwined and interlinked, hormones, emotional eating, mindset, etc. I've mentioned all of it already in the first kind of 10 minutes that I've been talking, because it is all linked, and it's and this. So I can't talk about one without talking about the other, because it's also linked, right? So let's move on. Anyway, so where was I? I've got some notes here. What was I saying? So I've done cortisol. Right, so if you are putting on weight, it could be because of stress and increased cortisol. It could be because it's increasing your fat storage, right? Or cortisol will also have a knock-on effect on other hormones. So when one hormone is imbalanced, it knocks all the others out of balance as well. And so if you think insulin's regulating blood sugar levels, yes, and it will store excess glucose for energy later. So that's kind of storing things as fat. So it's all having a knock-on effect. And excess insulin is going to reduce fat burning and increase cravings as well, right? So it's all, yeah. And leptin, right, so just another one about leptin, the satiation hormone, it's going to communicate to the brain that you have stored enough fat, and it'll curb your appetite. And it signals to your body to burn calories normally and prevent excess eating, right? Ghrelin, as I just mentioned, the higher levels of ghrelin, the hungrier you get. The lower the levels, the fuller you feel, yeah? And the easier it is to eat less. So it's really important to get back in touch with those. So when you're perimenopausal, estrogen and progesterone reduce, and it can result in weight gain. But as I said, most women accept this, and they're like, and what you're doing to lose, and you can feel like you can't lose weight anymore because what you were doing doesn't work anymore, but actually you've just got to do things differently. So I could do an entire presentation on that, but I can honestly say that this is top line what you need to know. This is a quote from a lady that did my programme who was having huge trouble with this. Her name's Helen, she's in this group, Helen Inglis, and she said that the programme was a lifesaver for her. Because it helped to balance her hormones while going through the menopause, and she was gaining weight and not able to lose no matter what she tried, and nothing was working for her. And she says, I now feel stronger than ever. This is after the 12 weeks, and I've achieved the weight loss, and I know that I have the tools now to keep it off long term. And she's not just talking about hormone knowledge, she's talking about the mindset and the emotional eating. So the aim is for everybody, overall hormone harmony, right? If one is imbalanced, it will affect the others. So remember that. And when you're eating, when you're putting food in your body, don't think how many calories is in this. Think, is this helping me to balance my hormones? Yeah, because that's the thing that matters. Hormones are the boss of whether you lose weight or not. And so that's where your focus should be, not how many calories is in this. And this, as I said, is a mindset shift. It's something you have to keep reminding yourself of, because obviously we're just obsessed with calories and burning them. So 5 areas you can make changes to today to help balance your hormones. I've gone into stress a lot. That's my first point because it's so important. As I said, it throws up cortisol levels, and there's and in extreme cases, like adrenal burnout, this will be hormonal chaos. Yeah, so if you're extremely stressed. So as I've explained, what cortisol does is it's a threat, and you know the body reacts to stress, and it will store fat. So it will see it as an emergency and say hold on to fat stores, right? So and it also stress also triggers cravings for sugar. When we were being chased by saber-toothed tigers, sugary food would give you extra energy. Yeah, so that's kind of stayed with us. So that's why you get those cravings when you're stressed. So any stress-lowering stress levels will balance hormones. Okay. So coping with stress. On my program, I teach women how to. Well, obviously, you know, yoga is great. Breathing exercises helps to slow down the nervous system and help you to really de-stress, because it slows down everything, your heart rate, your nervous system, just controlling the breath and breathing. That's one thing, but also I teach mindset techniques to help manage stress. Stress is a feeling, and feelings are created by our thoughts. So if you are thinking something is stressful, then you will feel stressed. And you may think, no, it's my job, it's happening to me. But actually, you can choose how you want to think about it. I'm not saying it's easy to change your thoughts and become less stressed, because for most of us, it is a pattern that we've developed over time, and these things have to be deconditioned. And if you want to decondition your stress thought patterns, then it takes practice. But it's kind of a daily practice, and I work on that with my clients. So I work on whatever it is that is imbalancing their hormones with them, and I can use yoga techniques, mindset techniques, and emotional eating solutions to do that, to help them manage and help their hormones perform optimally. It usually requires support. It's difficult to do on your own. So if you want coaching, just drop me. Just pop in the code. If you want to hear more about it and you'd like to book a call with me, just put call in the chat now. Yeah, just put call in the chat, and I will get back to you, and I'll have a conversation on DM with you first, and then I will, if I feel like I can help you, I'll have a chat with you about how I can help you with your situation. So the next thing to mention is the quality of the food that we're eating. And, you know, as I said, it's not about the calories. It's not just about calories. So, as I said, also, hormones are messengers that carry information from what we put in our body to around the rest of our bodies, to our tissues and organs. And the quality of the food is one part of the information. Calories is one part of the information. It will go around and say, and I said this, I think it was yesterday when I was talking about sugar, that when the body will like, oh, there's loads of calories here, but then it will like realise that there's no nutrients in a croissant, for example, yes? Oh, there's loads of calories, but there's no nutrients here. So it's looking for all the information to tell our body what to do. So when we eat something really sugary, it's telling us there's loads of calories, but there's no information, and that's what throws our hunger signals off. So ghrelin and leptin can't do their jobs properly because they don't understand that there's loads of calories but no nutrition. So it will tell you to keep eating. So eating tons of sugar will spike the insulin and put your body into fat storage mode, throw off your hunger signals, and cause inflammation as well. That's another downside. And remember, I said they will also activate the dopamine reward system, which means that it's kind of making your body also reinforcing those habits, those addictive behaviours. So, and also it's all perceived as an emergency, so the body goes into fat storage mode. So pay attention to the quality, and I'm not just talking about organic food, I'm talking about whole foods. Not everybody can afford to buy organic, I get that, but just make sure you're washing fruit and vegetables and getting any pesticides off them. Make sure that, and when I was talking about the quality of food, I'm also talking about whether it's processed or not, right? So basically, the best rule that I can give you with food is to stick to whole foods, things that are closest to their natural state as possible, yeah? Stop buying ready meals and whatnot, and things that are quite obviously processed. Obviously, sugar and flour are highly processed, yeah? Okay, diet foods and artificial sweeteners also will spike your insulin, yes? Because they are full of that artificial sweetness. So remember also that perfection is not the goal, because trying to be perfect at everything is also going to overwhelm you and stress you out, right? When you don't get it right, and then that leads to sabotaging, right? So there's a lot going on here. It's emotions, it's all going on, and it all works together. The next point I want to mention is sleep. So high quality sleep, and I mentioned the sleep hormone earlier, melatonin. So not getting enough sleep has a huge impact on our hormones, yes? And it's another big stressor on the body, and it really, really affects your weight, more than you realise. So, if you want to you think about it like this, getting enough rest is just as important as the food, right? And you probably think, oh, what's she talking about? But but this is, and again, it's a mindset. If you don't have the right amount of quality sleep, it does result in fat storage. Also in fatigue and low energy and moods and dehydration, and that will lead you to want to snack more. So commit to setting a sleep schedule and sticking to it. Avoid phones just before bed. It really does take your mind ages to settle after that. So give it an hour before bed. Use yoga and breath work, as I said. And there's a great practice called Yoga Nidra that really helps you to deepen your sleep. And I've got some of those free ones in the guide section. And a book that was recommended to me that I found really useful for sleep was called Sleep Smarter. I can't remember the name of it. It's Stephen something. I've got it upstairs, but I can type it. If anyone wants the details, just let me know, and I will just type sleep in the chat if you want to know more about the book. It's just brilliant. And also sleep apps are good. I've got a really good sleep app. I can't remember what that was called either. But I've got a great sleep app, so if you wanted to, it monitors all sorts of stuff. It's really, really good. So if you want to know the name of that as well, let me know. Next one on my list is hydration. This is so simple, I know, it's so simple, and you're always told to drink more water, but it really does make a huge difference, because if your tissue hydration is not up to scratch, then it stops your body's ability to detoxify, and that leads to hormone imbalance. Okay, just know that the body doesn't need any other liquid. So we drink coffee, we drink fizzy drinks, we drink orange juice, all of that. Doesn't need any of it. All we need is water. And the recommended amount, it's 8 glasses a day, right? So just if you're doing 8 glasses a day, then you're doing all right, basically. I can get more specific about amount of water per pound in the body, but I won't go into that now. But, just remember, hydrating your body helps your hormones. Hormones can't perform optimally if they're dehydrated, and so just drink more water. That's it. And then the last one I want to tell you about is products. The products that we use, the products we put on our body. Okay, just remember the skin is our biggest organ. The skin's an organ, right? So what we put on it matters. And if you're putting stuff onto your skin that has got toxins in it, but there's xenoestrogens as well, they're called, and they're actually hormone disruptors. And when they literally put into products Obviously, these companies are out to make a profit. They're not so bothered about your hormone imbalances, and so they're not putting quality stuff in there. So they're toxic endocrine disruptors. So look that up, because I could talk about this for hours, but literally they are very, very bad for hormones. And if you're putting them on your skin every day, it's going to affect your hormones and your estrogen, right? And we know, as I said, that estrogen is directly responsible for contributing to fat storage in the body as well. So pay attention to what you use on the body, and so look for ones without xenoestrogen. What it actually does is it mimics estrogen in the body, so your body thinks it's got more estrogen than it has actually got. So there you go. Didn't know that one. I didn't know that until I was told that about 10 years ago, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So it's all kind of linked. It's all important. Your hormones are. So I hope I've given some really good tips. And the sixth one was going to be yoga, but I've really talked about that already. Yoga really does help to de-stress you. So so that's number 6. Hope there's been some useful tips there. Please comment in the chat below if you need extra information. I actually have a worksheet on this that I prepared for one of my retreats, so I could send that to anybody. If you want this information on a piece of paper, let me know. Just put worksheet in the chat. Okay, and I'll get it to you. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope I've given you some more empowering information to move forward. If you're interested in talking to me about my program, where I use mindset, hormones, and emotional eating, underpinned by yoga to help people to lose the weight permanently, then please get in touch. This stuff is so, so important. You can just DM me or post in the chat, program in the chat. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I've talked and talked. I'm starting to lose my voice, So half an hour of talking. I need some water. I need to top up on my water. So I'll let you guys go. I'm just gonna finish it there. Take care. Thank you. Bye.